Welcome back, everybody, to Reality Miniverse, where we have another reality star we're talking to here today. Somebody I'm very excited about. But before we get to that, I want to do a couple quick plugs. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, if you could please subscribe, it goes a long way. But even more importantly than that, we're also on podcasting apps now. So if you're on Apple or Spotify, 5 stars goes a long way, especially in the beginning. So I definitely wanted to say that up front. Help us grow a little bit if you can. That being said, let's get to the person we all want to talk to here today. This is a good friend of mine. This is somebody I've known for a few years. I got to know this person around the pandemic time where we were playing online mini games. And then we lived close together. So this person became like part of like my, I guess, Northeast community of reality TV fans. I've been to watch parties with this person. I know this is a big reality TV fan, and I know this meant a lot for him to be here. So I'm super excited to introduce you all. Player 123, Bradley. Bradley, how's it
Yo,
going?
good man, good. I've just been like training for the challenge. This.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, Bradley, I want to ask you first and foremost. Like I said, you're a big reality TV fan. It's no surprise to me that you ended up on a TV show. But my first question to you now is why Squid Games? Because you're a Survivor fan. You like other shows. What was it about Squid Games that appealed to you?
If you ask me, like when season one of Squid Games came out, they were like casting 456 people. I was like, no way, nope, not doing that. There's no way. That's stupid. To play with 456 people, like what are the chances? And then Squid Game was never on my radar just because of that. Just like, too many in the cast. I've always wanted to do like something like Survivor or Big Brother. CBS does not love me for some reason.
Me
Um,
too.
so, I think I was just having like kind of like an off day or a down day, and someone sent me the link. Like you should apply for Squid Game. You need to. I think I posted something on social media, and one of my friends was like, "Apply for this game." And so I was like, you know what? Let me do it. And it was kind of like late. Like they were casting for a while, so I didn't know if it was like too late to apply. So I just did it and then started saying yes to everything like through the casting process. Um, and yeah, they gave me the green light 2 weeks before filming. I flew out.
Interesting.
And like, yeah, I think that I was like one of the last ones added. Just from like talking to the cast, like, oh, I've known since like, for 6 months. And I was like, I was like, oh well, no, I got the heads up 2 weeks ago. Practice all the
Okay.
games. Yeah, I was like practice all the games like super quick. Which like through the casting, like I kind of had a good idea that they were interested in me. And they didn't ask me about my twins, so I'm like, I think they were like capped out. They were good on like 8 pairs of twins. They're like, I think we have enough. But then they're like, yeah. So they gave me the call, and I was like, thankfully, like I had a good idea once they send you to like once they start spending money on you, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I think that I'm in. I'm gonna give my boss like a big heads up just in case. But yeah, it was like kind of like on a whim, and yeah, they
I was
flew me
very
out.
curious if they gave you the opportunity to bring family, because I'll drop this bomb on everybody. I was almost on season one, and they were casting my brother alongside me. We did interviews together, and I was talking to Chapman, who ended up playing the game. We were in the casting process at the same time, and like I was sending him updates of the things I was getting. I was like, they're asking me about family members, and he was like, wait, they didn't ask me any of that stuff, and I thought I had advanced. Come to find out, he went, and I did not. But yeah, I was really curious. There was no indication that they wanted family or anything like that for you.
No, they didn't ask me anything like that. So I think they were like, I think they had everyone locked in that they wanted to lock in, and then I don't know if I was like a straggler or something, but they're like,
Mhm.
okay, we'll get this guy. Thankfully. So yeah.
So you mentioned like your preparation. I want to know like specifically what were the things you were eyeing that you felt like you needed to practice on, or were you practicing on things? Did you get to like? I guess you didn't know House of Cards were there, but like did you get to do anything leading up?
Yeah, no, I practice gongi, which I was horrible at, and
It's
even
very hard. I have it
yeah,
right here, actually.
it's horrible. And the fact that like on episode one that they let, I think her name's Sydney, like do gongi with her like small little hands. And I guess she was like the only one that knew how to play. And I was like, y'all, like you can't let this, it takes like a average size hands, which I don't have.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I was in my hotel room, like in London, like just like practicing it. I'm like, well, if I have to do this, I'm going to be eliminated. So I have to find someone that knows how to play this game, like just in case. But I did practice that, so I had a good idea of how to play it. And then, doggone, I was like at home baking these cookies and like carving out shapes, which I got pretty decent at. I thought I had a pretty good idea. I'm like, they're not going to do this game again, I don't think. But it might be like a secret like mission that pops up like that. They make like one or two people have to do it,
Mm,
like as a punishment. And same thing about like red light, green light. When I got my shoes for my uniform, I ran paced back and forth in my hotel because my shoes were too small, but I'd rather have them too small than too big. So I was like running back and forth. I'm like, and everyone was convinced that we were going to do red light, green light again. And I was like my production hats on, like they're not going to do the same game twice at
yeah.
first, at least. Um, but people like pretty had like me pretty convinced that we were going to do red light, green light. Um, and But yeah, so like they threw us a curveball there, but I also practiced marbles, like doing trick shots with marbles just at home. And I brought marbles like into London in my hotel room. We had a lot of downtime, so I grabbed the trash can and was like doing some trick shots with marbles. But that was the extent of my preparation. I didn't want to like over prep. Just kind of like I'm a big believer like in over studying for like exams when you're in college. Like I'm like, you know what to do. Like you know like the gist. Like I didn't go like practice like hacky sack or whatever for the six legged is it the pentathlon?
Pentathlon? Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure that I can do that. I'm like, I don't need to like go out and buy a hacky sack. Like, so I'm like, I knew I was confident that I could do the games, but like building car, like I would have been screwed if I had to like build a house of cards or like do gongi. I would have probably been screwed, but I don't know. I was just going to go. I was going with it.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're wearing. I wanted to ask you this as soon as I saw your shirt because it was something that I heard about in season one. Did you get to keep your outfit from the game or anything else? Any memorabilia?
No, no outfits. We got to
That is
keep our
so lame.
Yeah, we got to keep. Oh no, I probably the outfit that I had for 1, 2, 3 was probably last year's 1, 2, 3. We're probably the
That's
same size. Um, so yeah, next year's 1, 2, 3 will probably have the same. Well, actually, our numbers were Velcro, so those could move, I guess.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not true. But yeah, no way they're not letting us keep wardrobe. We got to keep the underwear. And then all of our toiletry items that they gave us, which we did get chapstick this year. Um,
Okay, that's funny.
but yeah, and I still have those toiletry items just like tucked away. Oh, and then we had like they gave us like these little tote bags with our like numbers kind of on them. So I still have that because they were like huge tote bags for like our overnight bags or for like when we get eliminated or whatever. So we did get to keep that. So those are like the only memorabilia items that I have.
Okay, I'm like a big fan of things, so I'm always trying to take. Like, I always want like like the squid. Like, of course, I want my jumpsuit. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, like that
Uh,
toothbrush, I'm never using it. I'm just keeping
yeah.
it. I'm just like I'm using it, or I'm just keeping it. And like I think, yeah, the chapstick, and then think I don't think they gave us. Well, yeah, we do have. I forget what else is in there, but we have some other things in there.
Yeah. So, one of my questions for you, like first entering the game, or maybe this even happened before the game. I really don't know what it was like leading up, walking into the dorm, right? Did you recognize anybody on the cast? I mean, like for me specific, obviously there was like a bunch of people that I knew, and because I'm more involved in the LRG community, I know you haven't been as involved in that, so maybe you didn't have those same connections. But I'm curious, did anybody stand out to you?
Yeah, the only person, or actually, oh yeah, three people actually.
Okay.
So, Mark Levy, Player
Hmm.
100. I noticed him from like the reality world. And the only reason I recognize him is because I think he rooted against me like during a game. and tweeted about it, and I was like, "Am I about to be petty and like target this person right now? Because I'm super petty."
That's so
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, so that just advice for everyone watching, like that can catch up with you. That can catch up with you. There's a lot of these like org players that play these games, so be nice and kind to everyone.
You never know when you're going to see somebody again. That's so
And
crazy.
I know he had no clue who I was, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him. And I was rooting for him during these episodes. Um, so he was a great character, but I was like, I recognize that guy. And then there is a chick, I think her name's Haley from Below Deck. I watched
Oh,
Below Deck, big Below Deck fan.
okay.
So she was on the O's with me, and she didn't really get any screen time. And then sh- uh, is his name? It's John Marcus or Marcus Johns, like the former Vine star Marcus Johns is his name.
Okay.
He was playing with his mother-in-law. Um, I'm like walking to the bathroom because I'm like, you have to go number two in the Squid Game bathroom if you're like in the dorms.
At least one
Um,
part.
and he was just like in there, and he looked very familiar to me, but very friendly. And it was just me and him in there. So I chatted with him for a little bit, and I was like, "Do you really like your mother-in-law? Like, tell me." Like, it's we're,
That's so funny. That's a good
um,
question.
and he was like, "I love her. I love her," and he
Yeah,
really does love his mother-in-law.
that's
And I
good.
was like shocked that he made it to at the second game and he didn't get any airtime. I seen him on like the episode, but still like kind of shocking since they were so focused on pairs. Um, but yeah, he I didn't realize it was him until like I got home and someone was like, "Oh yeah," and then someone was playing with their mother-in-law, this Vine star. I was like, "Oh, that's who he is." Like, I did recognize him. But yeah, kind of gutted that he didn't get any screen time.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to know, like, getting into the game more so. First of all, how long were you there? How long were you alive in the game?
Oh, alive when the game started. So once we entered the dorms, which is a huge surprise, um, and the actually, I spent a lot of time that morning with player 415, Eric, the baby daddy, the fake baby daddy.
Okay.
Um, so we like kicked it all day until we were like ready to film. And I was like, oh, this young, like timid boy. I didn't know he was like in his 30s and so timid. And then when the trailer comes out, I'm like, oh my God, like you're kind of a villain. I love it. Like I was not expecting that. But we get into the dorm and they send us in like 30, a group of 30 at a time, I think. So it's a long process. So the first
Mm.
couple groups that were in there, they were over it by the time everyone got in. They were all sitting down where they're like not as peppy anymore because everyone was cheering. I was like the middle group. So everyone was still kind of amped, and there's enough people to like get me pumped up when I walked in, and like everyone's, yeah, we made it. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Um, so I feel like we were in there for like a while because I was like a little social butterfly, just like seeking out like the main character energy and like I was trying to like bro up, and just like so. I want to say once everyone was in there, I feel like we got like another hour of like mingling maybe, and I could be totally off. It felt like at least an hour, and then we hopped right into the front man just like popping right out on us.
Yeah. I want to talk about this first game because I have a lot of my own opinions. As a lover of red light, green light, I think it would have been cool to see that. Or if you're not going to do red light, green light, give us a cool set where everybody has like an individual test of endurance. I want to know like your initial reactions to hearing about this game, what you thought about it in the moment, and then what your strategy was going forward, I guess.
Oh gosh. So I figured that we would be for this season we would split up in teams and X's and O's. I just didn't know when. I wasn't surprised when they did it from the jump. So I was like, I don't really want to play a team game right now. And then like once we started strategizing, I was like, give me the give me the F off this team. I like you can see me for like a little bit on the episode, and I you can tell that like I wanted to kill everybody. I was like, you have to take into like consideration like the jet lag and lack of sleep. I was very irritable. Um, but I was all like for it, like when Ida was like, "Hey, y'all, we're counting for you. This is not going to be my fault if we lose." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like we got you." But like the T is we originally we had four counters, and on the episode you can see like the four people at the stage in front of 431 Raul. Um, and Jacket, the boy that stands up and starts counting, he was originally supposed to be the counter. The one I think he's the one that's like he can count to 100 perfectly. Um, so that wasn't a random. He didn't randomly just stand up. That was he planned that with that counter. He goes, "Hey, when I get to 300, I'm going to stand right next to you so we can see if we're like on like the same page." Which thank God we had a back, or we didn't technically have a backup, but he was like, "I am going to be the backup because this." Hell nah, that was not
That
working.
wasn't
As
working.
soon as she started doing that, 12 seconds late, I said, "We're so effed." Thank God that I mean, this is a PG show, Squid Game. I'm like, thank God, like half the stuff that I was saying did not make the edit because I'm like, get me the F off this team. Because you have to like all these type A personalities that think they have the best strategy. They just at least want to play a game and have some sort of involvement in their fate. So I totally get it. The sensible players just shut up and sat down because there was so much commotion going on. There was two physical altercations that did not
Wait.
show. Yeah, and then so we started counting, and it was just like way off, like from the jump, and uh, yeah, I had no hope. Like as soon as the game started, player 363, she doesn't get like that much recognition, but she was the other counter. She was on pace from the jump. A lot of people around me were counting. I wasn't counting. I wish when I seen the nurse like off. I wish I would have just stood up and be like, one, two, mother, three, four. But yeah, that's what I mean. I I'm not like bitter about it. Like it's not my. I didn't love the game. I understood why they did it. Everyone was fully capable of raising their hand and volunteering and counting. I think honestly, we gave and I love the 20s. But we gave our team captain 431 Raul way too much credit or way too much power to determine how we're going to play this game because his role is you pushing the button. That's all you need to do.
Hmm.
And he wasn't even counting. If I'm in charge of the button, I'm counting. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I will use y'all as a reference, but I'm going to count. And my twin's not going to beat me, you know? But I was like, that's another thing I said. I said, this motherfucker is not even counting. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, for him to like cut, we had four counters, and then like last second, he cut it down to two for whatever reason, and why people were just like, okay, I'm gonna sit down then. Like, no, if you feel confident that you can count, I would have been like, no, I'm gonna sit. For me, I knew I would get to 50 and get bored and like, kind of done. I don't
Yeah.
want to count anymore. But like there was like people like raising their hands and like I'm like okay we like I'm just gonna sit here and just like I guess like the whole room basically besides two people have to sit and just cross our fingers.
Yeah. So one thing I'm really curious about is like how they came up with these teams because there's a couple things, and maybe you tell me there was nothing weird that happened. But I do find it interesting that the twins stepped up. I mean, I guess there are a bunch of connections. It could have been anybody.
Oh yeah, I do
And,
have tea on
and
my.
what I found interesting is I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like every single person was with their family member. Was that a requirement? Did they have to go with the people they knew, or was there any other rules that we didn't see?
Yeah, there were some rules that weren't shown. I recall the volunteers had to be a pre-existing relationship.
Oh,
Um, Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, maybe
Okay.
maybe I dreamt that. I don't know. And then yeah, there was no rule that like pairs had to stick together or anything like that. There may have been pairs that did split up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but and then the T is so I talked to the 20s earlier that day because like immediately drawn to them because I'm like identical twins like and I was like I tell them I'm like hey, are you guys like nervous about like being targeted right away? And they're like, why would it be targeted right away? I'm like, that's how I'm like, I had a sense that like they probably weren't like reality TV fans. They were like recruited.
Mhm.
Because they're like, I mean, yeah, why wouldn't they be recruited? They're attractive, like identical twins. They have a good social media following. They're twin influencers, I think they call them.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I was like, well, because y'all look alike, like you think people just like come for you. And they're like, I don't, basically, they're like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we just don't want to be split up. So they're like four people away from me when they're calling for volunteers. And I try to get, not that they needed me at all to like tell them, like, don't do this, but I wanted to tell them so bad, like, don't volunteer. But they got bum rushed by everyone surrounding them. Even though they weren't the only pairs, but they were the pair that was closest to the stage. Um, and a lot of people just like I think were so eager to play the game or be a part of the game or probably just make TV. So they were just like being bum rushed. So to get away from everyone, they move closer to the stage, and everyone starts cheering. And one of the I heard overheard my team captain was saying like, well, we didn't initially want to volunteer, but like we moved and everyone started cheering, and then eventually they were like, you know what, let's just do it. Which I'm so glad they did because fantastic television, like identical twins, team captains. Um, I was rooting for both set of twins. I didn't care that he didn't die. Um, at first, I was like, when the trailer came out, I'm like, hold up, like,
Oh, okay, so you
hold
didn't
up.
know he re-entered.
No, we did. No, it was a surprise to all of us. It made us. No, we did not know
Okay.
that. We did not know that. I was like, hold up, and I'm glad if we all knew. I don't think it would have been pretty. Like we're because a lot of people were already crying that we got eliminated and we get to play. But hey, that's reality TV, baby. Like you sign up for this, and it's not even reality TV. Like not only reality TV, it's Squid Game. Like it vicious. Like they have a father watching their like daughter play for her life. Like that's like no, it's brutal. It's brutal. So yeah, it sucked. Like the game sucked when we got out, but um, and the X's and O's, like how we decided our teams. For me personally, I picked O's because of what it represents on the scripted series of like you want to stay and play. So I knew before I got on the plane if there's teams, I'm picking O. And then like you get familiar with people like throughout the day and like throughout your journey before the show even starts. Like you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with some of like the same people. So like and that was just like a bonus for me. I'm like, okay, I know a lot of people over here, and that's honestly probably what the X's did as well. Um, Once I seen some of the X's, the people that were on the X's like walking out, I was like, oh, there's a lot of like main character energy over there. I was like, should I have switched over? But yeah, so there was kind of a method of the madness, but a lot of people just kind of wanted to stick with the people that they were familiar with.
Yeah. So, well, I want to know because it's so interesting. Because if that had gone a different way, like we get a completely different show with completely different characters,
Oh
it's
yeah.
so wild. So, like, I'm curious, like from the group that advanced, I guess, who were you rooting for the most?
Oh, I like this question. Rooting for initially just from my first impressions, not even watching the show, but player 118 Jaunty.
Okay.
Main character energy like from the jump, like before even the game, like this guy has some sort of aura, this like grin about him that was like kind of sneaky, but I'm like, I like this guy, and he has a mullet like me, and I was like, and that's that's the first thing that I talked about with him. I was like, mullet brother, mullet king.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him, and then Eric, player 415, because I just spent the day with him. That's how like things go. Like, oh, this person ate at my table during lunch. I'm rooting for
Yeah.
him. But yeah, a lot of I think those are the only two that stick out that I was like actually like rooting for. I feel like I'm forgetting some people, but that I met like that day, because a lot of the people that I would have rooted for got out with me, and
Yeah.
we all just went to the hotel bar and got hammered.
Okay, well that's a good question. So I wanted to ask, I just talked to May who was on 99 to beat, and she had a lot of time to explore the UK when she was over there. Did you get that chance? Did you get the opportunity to see the country while you were there?
Hell nah. They put me on a plane
Okay.
the next day. The next morning, they're like, "You're out of here." It
Yeah.
depended on the plane schedules. Like everyone was already like pre-booked home. Everyone like
Hmm.
for that following day. I guess it just like made sense as far as like pricing wise. So some people did have the opportunity. They did have like a whole free day of nothing, and then uh, left. But like no, for me, they sent me back home to Cincinnati real quick. And yeah.
Okay. Uh, I just had a thought. This is random. So Jonty is from Australia. I knew that we had people from the UK on the show. Were there other Australians or people from other countries also?
Yeah, there's this gentleman that he did do the X's, and I did see him die during the pentathlon. He was from Tulum, Mexico. And then we have I think his name was Sam. He died during I think it was during the catch game. He was
Okay.
from Ireland.
Oh, cool.
Um, but yeah, so there's people from like all over, and I love it. And I think that's what I was gutted about the most, of like not being able to get and talk with these people from all over the world.
Yeah, all of you are so cool and so impressive. Just to be honest, like you look at the character sheets online, and like everybody has come from some very awesome background. I want to know. I want to know from you. What do you think was the thing that got you on the show? What was the thing that stood out? What kind of person were you to them?
Oh my gosh, yeah, there was so many cool people there. Like there was like a ton of like influencers, which to some people that's cool, I guess. But there were some people that were there like with super cool jobs. Like there was a on my flight back to the shuttle back to the airport. There was a acrobat that from Vegas. There was a this guy whose social media handle is like Smiles with a Z. He is a basketball influencer, and he plays ball like just casually with like Drake and Steph Curry. Like, and then you kind of have like I kind of like had imposter syndrome for a little bit there, because I'm like, someone was like, "Oh, are you an influencer? So what do you do?" I'm like, I don't know. But honestly, for me, I know like my storytelling capabilities, and me being like a very expressive person, probably like very dramatic person. That is I think that's what they liked about me. I shared my story about like my family, my upbringing. Like you kind of like have to like tug at the heartstrings a little bit, because if you watch the show, like these people, like everyone has like these great stories, and that's what you know producers love. So I made sure like I highlighted made myself a little bit like just well rounded. But I think like if you don't have a cool job, if you don't have a social media following, like just be a good storyteller, and I think that's what helps me out.
That's an incredible place to be. The other people got casted for their following. You got casted because you're an awesome person. So
Because
we
I'm me,
can,
baby. Because I'm
yeah,
me.
exactly. Uh, okay, Bradley, I want to know like this whole experience. I know like some of it might have been frustrating, and some of it was awesome. What is like the thing that you're taking away from this? Like the best thing that you gained out of Squid Games, the challenge?
The best thing. I would say I just have a lot of respect for like casting and just production in general. Because like if the O's survived the game, we would still have great television. Like there was still interesting people with stories that we weren't told on the O team. And then like Studio Lambert was such like a well-oiled machine for like my short time there. But my short time there, there was 456 people of like so just like I'm such a nerd when it comes like to like behind the scenes and like movie magic and stuff like that. So like I love that kind of stuff. I think if I ever get the opportunity to do like television or reality TV again, like I will be just like I don't know. I think I'll just like be more prepared. Uh, but as far as like because you're like okay, this is happening. I didn't know like it was like this and stuff like that. But I think that's my takeaway. I feel like I should probably say like friendships and stuff like that, but
All right. Who are they? Who cares?
it was hard to keep. We got eliminated so quick that I didn't really just keep in touch with people because like you're not supposed to like follow people on like Instagram or whatever when we get our phones back. And I'm such a rule follower that I just didn't. So I'm just now getting like reacquainted with people, which has been fun. But like I feel like everyone who's lasted like day two, day three, they've all have grown like closer and like super connected. But I don't know. I'm supposed to be meeting up with them for a watch party in Philly next week. So it'd be interesting to see people again and like kind of like reconnect and meet people that I didn't even get a chance to meet.
Awesome. Okay, let me ask you this one. This just came to me. I want you to predict if you had survived the counting day a game, which game would you have lost in? Which one would you have done the worst at?
You know what the okay. Before I answer this, I wanted to be the kind of player that sat on my booty during the X's and got through, did the pentathlon, got out a winning team, and did like something simple like ball in a cup, and
Okay.
then did the catch game and just stand in
Front
the back
line.
and not have to do anything. I want
Okay.
to be
Yeah.
that person. I
Yeah.
want to do that. But yeah, I feel like the team games. I feel like pentathlon would have been hard to make it because like again, you're relying on like four other people. Yeah, four other people. But I don't know. I think that like catch would have been super easy for me. Mingle would have definitely been it for me for sure.
Yeah, they would have cooked you.
For sure, yeah. I I could barely that was the game I was most excited to play was Mingle, but seeing it play out, I know like it had to be so stressful for them to be like protest. I read it, I was like, did this really happen? Did they really
Yeah, I'm
protest?
wondering
And
that too.
yeah, did you read that? I was like, it really happened.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
so.
yeah, but so yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like I was like I brought back myself to like the playground, and I'm like I'm probably gonna I feel like people wouldn't pick me to be in their room or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, Mingo would definitely have been it for me. I feel like, but everything else, I'm like, give me through the stupid count game. I feel like it would have been like pretty decent, especially like picking my team of like which I know that you don't really know what you're picking your team for the pentathlon, and then you're split up 5-5. So that would have been tragic. But I at least wish I would have made it to that.
Yeah. Okay, what else? Any other tidbits from your time on Squid Games that you
Oh
want to
my
share with
gosh,
us?
I feel like I've already said too much.
Okay, okay. Fair. Fair. Well, okay, okay, last thing. This is I
Yeah,
got this for you. Do you know how to play rock paper scissors -1?
no.
Oh damn. Okay, never mind. I thought you might have practiced that. So it's on the second season of the scripted version, and it's my favorite game. It's basically a twist on rock paper scissors, and I thought certainly it would come up, and it hasn't yet. I guess it still could, but that's one I would have been practicing.
Oh, I don't even know what that. I feel like I did pretty good, like researching
Yeah.
the season, or I think it was season two that came out right before we started filming. So I like made sure I watch everything. But like, yeah, no, I didn't catch that game.
I think it happened before the actual games, like the recruiter guy was playing it with people. But basically, the way the game works is it's rock, paper, scissors. The difference is instead of putting out one of the two, you put out two of the three. So I'll put scissors and paper. So there's another start. So it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot, you put out two, and then -1, you pull one back. So it gives you the opportunity to see what your opponent's going to play and then decide which one you want to use. And it's really an interesting, like, cat and mouse game. But yeah, I just wanted to plug that for anybody listening. And if you want to challenge me, I'm looking for challengers. If you want to play me in rock, paper, scissors -1, I'm ready. That's all.
And practice that for season 3, I guess, of Squid Game: The Challenge. That's casting right now. There's my plug.
Yes. There you go. All right, Bradley. I think we touched on a lot. I think this is great. Again, I really appreciate you doing this. Anything else you want to plug or tell people to check out while you're here?
Um, no. Follow me on
No.
Instagram. Sir Bradley Wayne. Sir Bradley Wayne. Follow me for life changing content.
Let's go. All right, Bradley. We'll call it there. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you, brother.